I like it. It looks fresh. But how are we not going to put a crab, or how are we not going to put the best looking flag out there, the Maryland flag, incorporated in the City Connects? They're City Connects. Put the Maryland flag in there. Put a crab in there. Put my logo on there. What's going on here? We got Aaron Judge destroying stadiums. He should be arrested, first of all. With everyone at BTL chat, Tail and the Squad Ride. We'll break you guys out of prison later. This guy's cheated multiple times in the past, gotten caught for it. He's actually a human trash can. This dude is the scum on the bottom of your shoe. That guy goes park to park, stadium to stadium, a grown-ass man with a baseball glove, like he's playing in the game, taking home runs from kids, not giving little man the respect he deserves. What a loser.
They're watching me flourish, I'm watching them run. Damn. Brand new bag for pro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash because I'm trying.
What's going on, chat? BTL episode 276. My camera's not working. I'm firing up the old laptop. It is what it is. Javon, can you see me and hear me?
Oh, I can see you. I can hear you. So I think we're good to go.
W's. We got some best bets up there on the board today, Javon. Love it. Bringing that back. The people need it. They've been asking. And is that a Chode fan up there behind you?
It is. The vaunted sighting.
No way.
We're finally here.
Only the OGs remember the Chode fan. That could be just what we need to kick us into overdrive here heading into the MLB season. Dog days of summer. Ain't much else going on, Javon, but we've got plenty to talk about today. We're going to go over MLB best bets. We're going to do a BTL giveaway, hopefully, if you guys get enough signups for this free survivor pool on BetSperts. We'll talk about that in a minute. Shohei hit another home run last night. The baseballs were juiced. It is what it is. Still awesome. We'll talk about him, if he's going to get traded. Little MLB head-to-head lineups action. Obviously, your cheat sheet, Javon, MLB slate, the whole 9 yards, squad ride, Chad, you guys name it. We got you. Okay, we got you covered today. Even as far as the NBA Summer League Championships. All right, I'm going to go into that. That might be one of my plays today. You might see it on the board right down here, okay? So I apologize, guys, about the camera. It is what it is. We're going to make it do and fix it for tomorrow. But, Javon, happy to be here. Happy Monday. Let's find some fucking winners today, Bob. Let's find some winners.
Do it. Got to be locked in on Monday. It's the energy we need.
We don't have a choice. Chat, hope you guys had a great weekend. Okay? Javon. I want to do a giveaway, but we need more signups for this BetSperts Survivor Pool we're pushing out. Chat, it is free to sign up. It takes you about 3 seconds, okay? And there's only limited spots available, okay? If you pre-register by today, go ahead and we'll drop the link in chat. Free, easy. You can win Super Bowl tickets. I don't know why you wouldn't sign up, and they have limited spots available. So join now. Don't think you can wait until we keep pushing this when we got week 1 around the corner. This thing's going to fill up, okay? Limited spots, hop in there. It's free. We're all going to be doing it, okay? Talking about it, sweating it out the entire season. Look, fantasy football, what is this, 2010? No. Survivor pools, okay? One team every week, all right? Once you use them, they're done, and you got to make it the whole season. Yours truly has actually won a Survivor pool before in years past, so I'm hoping to run that back this year. I'll be giving out picks for that. I think, Javon, we did that last year, too. We gave out some Survivor picks, so we'll be running that back. Okay, guys, if we get 50 signups during BTL, and I have the tab pulled up right now, if we get 50 people to sign up on this show, on this stream today, I'm going to give away another BTL shirt. Okay, I'm going to give away another shirt. I want to see you guys rocking some fresh merch, and I want you guys to join the Survivor Pool and sweat it out with us the whole season. Okay, the link is in the chat. We got guys signing up. Let's freaking go. I don't know why you wouldn't. Okay, it's free. All right, and it's fun. Survivor pools are the best. They're awesome. Underrated, undervalued. Okay, W's chats. Let's keep moving and grooving. I'll keep monitoring that signups list. Hopefully, we get to 50. If we do, I'm giving away that T-shirt. Okay, boys, we move. And yeah, is that a new hat?
No, it's just one I can't wear it as much because I did get a cut. This one's a size smaller than the rest of the hats. So I can only break it out when I'm feeling like it.
Okay.
And thankfully today's that day.
Dubs. All right, Javon. Man, those baseballs last night in Anaheim, they had to be juiced. Juicy. Okay, I talked about it a little bit. Aaron Judge last year had some help. All right, they've done studies, independent studies. Needed some help there at the end to push him over the edge. Shohei might not even need the help, but he's getting it. Every game in this series went over. There was about 700 runs in this series combined. I think there were at least 5 or 6 home runs last night, maybe more in this game alone, Javon. The ball was absolutely flying out of the park. It was on ESPN last night, Sunday Night Baseball. Okay, chat. It's not rocket science. Okay, baseball is competing with other sports. The other sports are more fun, action-packed, more people hitting each other, right? More action, if you want to say. And baseball knows that they have one avenue to target, to grow, and to literally promote the shit out of, and it's home runs. Okay, that's the most fun part of baseball. Shohei Ohtani is a home run machine right now. He is dialed. He is the best player in baseball by far. It is unbelievable. We are blessed and lucky to be able to witness and watch this guy, whether the balls are juiced or not. Okay, but they are, Javon. Okay, and we're seeing the same thing we saw at the end of last season when Aaron Judge, all of a sudden the home runs were just coming every game. All right, it feels like MLB might even be ahead of schedule here, and they're making sure that they're keeping Shohei, in the race to break Judge's record from last season. Okay, and making sure that when he's on TV, which is going to be a lot down the stretch, that he's hitting bombs. Okay, we saw one last night. You're going to see more throughout the rest of the second half. Not saying that he couldn't hit 50 home runs, himself without a little bit of help, but he might be able to hit 60, maybe 65, Javon, with these nice Yankees, nice baseball logos with Yankees logos from all the games last year. They actually had some leftovers, so they just reposted Angels logo on there, and they've been using that. Okay,
yeah, that works.
It's the same shit, different year. Baseball pushing the shit out of Shohei as they should, giving him a little bit of help. Unbelievable. Either way, whether he's getting help or not, Javon, it's fun to watch every single day, man. Every single day.
Yeah. I mean, whether you can argue whatever you want about the balls being juiced, but the one thing you can't argue, he's so gone now.
He is gone. Gone. Do you think he's gone this year? Because he's a free agent in the offseason, and we're going to talk about it here for a little bit, boys.
Yeah.
He's a free agent in the offseason, okay? We got this guy, William Fredrickson, who's saying he's an Angels insider or whatever. I went through his page. It looks kind of legit. I don't know. Saying that he's not going to fucking trade him this season. He's going to offer him an absolute bag in this offseason. We'll see. I'm under the impression that he will not get traded. I don't think this is going to be a Soto-type move. I think the Angels aren't bad enough to really do that. And I don't even know if the owner would want to do that with the amount of coin he's going to bring in the rest of this year, filling up seats, selling jerseys, you name it, whatever it is. If it involves Shohei, he's getting rich, okay? He doesn't want to let that guy go. I don't blame him, okay?
Yeah.
Shohei's on another level than Soto. Not only is he playing better right now and more popular, but he also pitches and he's the greatest player ever, okay? So I don't see this guy getting traded at all. It's a little bit different. The Nats were absolute dog piss. The Angels are still, they're still hanging around. They're doing what the Angels do. I predict he does not get traded this year. I think he gets signed somewhere else in the offseason. I am praying every night before I go to bed that it is not in pinstripes. I'm not even kidding. I wish I was. Anywhere else is fine. I don't think he'll be back on the Angels. I think he'll go somewhere else who's willing to pay him an insane amount of money. And I hate to say it, would not be surprised if it's either of those top 3 teams, and I hate them all. I hate them all. Javon, what's your take, man, on the whole situation? Do you think he's getting moved? Where do you think he's going? What do you think he should do? Let the people know.
I mean, it's still a little like I feel the same way that I did about Judge. Obviously, it's not the same situation, but I just find it hard to believe that at least they're going to trade him, especially being the fact that a team not only has to trade a very large package, probably one of the bigger ones, if not the biggest that we've seen.
Probably ever.
Ever. The one thing that holds that back is the fact that, they got to sign him to an extension too, or that has to be guaranteed, which makes it all the 10 times more difficult. So like, I can't see a team fessing that up, especially like when one of those teams is the Mets, who, signing them to an extension may be a little different, a little out of the conversation. You got the Yankees in there too, which are definitely, willing to pay the big bucks no matter what. But I don't know if Shohei, it seems like he doesn't want to move from the West Coast. So the Dodgers are obviously an option there. I just find it all hard to believe, especially with it being Shohei Ohtani, who's one of the faces of the sport, probably one of the most electric players in the sport that we've seen since Barry Bonds. So like trading him from an organizational perspective, not only do you lose revenue from the immediate standpoint, not only are you going to lose, the face of your franchise going forward, but that's a move that's not going to really help you down the line, attract many more big time free agents. So like, and obviously you're going to get ripped from the fans and lose their support as more than they already have. So like, it's hard for me to believe. I'll believe it when I see it, if they trade him or let him go. I just think they're going to have to cross their fingers and hope they can convince him to resign.
Yeah. Do you think he resigns with the Angels? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wow. Do you think it's going to be the biggest deal in sports history?
Has to be. It just has to be. I mean, it's there's not
what
much else you
here.
can give them.
What are we talking here? 500 mil?
Maybe 6, 7.
I don't know about 7, 5 or 6.
6, I think, is reasonable. I mean,
okay.
I don't know.
I talked to the agent at Sushi after the game yesterday. He's going to the Dodgers this year to sabotage their World Series chances and come back to Anaheim with a 20-year contract. The old Max Scherzer approach. I love it. Yes, people don't know this, but Max Scherzer actually still working for the Nats. It's an inside job, and he's doing a hell of a job. Okay. It does make me sad that Scherzer's on a losing team like that. He's not used to that. He's used to being on the Nats and being a World Series champion, not wearing those nasty-ass, hideous colors. God.
Yeah.
We got sub bangs, Javon. We got lots of them. Bexy coming in with a sub bang. We got a hype train. We got Juiced Crane coming in with a sub bang. Let's go. Let's start the week off with some winners. Hell yeah, my man. Great mindset. Falser coming in with a sub bang. I've been subbed more for months than most of the followers on here. W's, okay. 100 bits coming in from Zovis. Let's freaking go. Otani selling. Okay, sure, yes. He's gone. Yep. I hate sweating. Interesting name for you to be in here. It's very contrarian to you today. Sub bang in 7 months, Dubs. Little Joe Puss. Sure. Squad ride Dubs. We got tons of sub bangs, Javon. Talon coming in. Why not us? He's asking the right questions. Absolutely love it. Auto Gelato coming in with the sub bang. 18 months. That's a grinder. That's an OG. Absolutely love it, boys. Vibes are up. Vibes are up. We got Yeti coming in with the sub bang. We got Jules for 3 coming in with the sub bang. You guys are on fire right now. Let's have a freaking day. All right, let's have a freaking day. Josh, keep spamming that Survivor Pool link. Keep spamming that Survivor Pool link so that they can sign up. I'll see where we're at in a couple minutes. Chat, where do you guys think Shohei's going? Do you think he gets moved mid-season? Where do you think he's going? Do you think he stays? You never know with these guys who aren't from the U.S. Some of them genuinely don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to move. They don't want to travel. They're comfortable. They like where they're at. They've already tried enough new things. I don't blame them. I really don't. I can't even imagine how crazy that is coming from over there to here and then being the most famous person in the sport. It's unbelievable. Maybe he's got enough pressure, enough stress as it is. Maybe he just wants to park it in Anaheim. I don't know. But either way, Javon, whether he ends up in another uniform competing for a playoff team, getting traded or gets signed in the offseason, he is going to get his bag. And he is having an unbelievable contract year. An unbelievable contract year.
Crazy.
At his best, he's about to get paid, and he deserves every penny. He deserves every penny.
Every bit.
He does. All right, so your final prediction is Shohei re-signs with the Angels in the offseason.
Yeah.
600 plus mil.
Yeah, and I don't think that should be as hot of a take as it really is. But I'll stick with it.
Okay. My prediction, he's in pinstripes. My prediction, he's in pinstripes. In the offseason. He's not going anywhere this year.
I feel like you're just predicting that because you don't want that to happen.
I could be Krabs jinxing it and saying it so it doesn't happen. I could. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees go out and get him. I really wouldn't.
I know. Yeah.
I really wouldn't. It's what they do. It's what they do. They ruin the sport. It's what they do. Okay? Javon, I want you to go over your cheat sheets, and then we're going to go in the MLB head-to-head lineups. I got to get my ducks in a row real quick. But go over your MLB cheat sheet. Okay, dive in. Let the people know what's good. We'll go over our head-to-head lineups and then absolutely dive in headfirst to the slate. Okay?
Yeah, we can do that. It's a weird day. There's not all that much on here that's incredibly complicated. We're talking like home run targets. There's a lot of guys on the board that are kind of the typical names that we see there, like a Luis Severino who's been really bad, at Jordan Lyles, who even when he has his best outings, he's still getting up the home run ball a time or two. Brandon Williamson, who we'll talk about that in a little bit. He's sneakily been really, really good his last handful of starts, but He's in Great American Ballpark, which is always one of the best ballparks for hitting conditions, and is once again today. So he's prone to the long ball going up against the Giants today. But the big name, it's kind of the biggest question mark on the board for a lot of reasons, but especially if we're talking, home run targets here. Grayson Rodriguez coming back today after his disastrous first little stint in the majors. He had, I believe, a little phantom IL stint, then he went to the minors to kind of go figure it out, which on the surface, it kind of looks like he did. I'm not really buying it all that much, though, but we'll see how he comes back today. It's going to be an interesting little series there between the Dodgers and Orioles. The Orioles have won like 8 straight or something, and the Dodgers, I think, are starting to become the Dodgers again, like we talked about. So talk about that game specifically in a little bit, but that's a big one. As far as like BVP stuff, there's a lot of guys who struggle against some of the pitchers here, like Baez. Looking at those numbers, how you have those against Jordan Lyles, I really don't know, but interesting numbers at the bottom of the board there. And then the one guy who I really, really like, not just because of the BVP numbers that we see there, because of the matchup overall, your boy Lane Thomas. I'll be all on his props today. Which, I mean, surprisingly for Lane Thomas, a guy like him, I was looking at that .94 expected slugging against Drew Smyly, which, I mean, Smyly fits perfectly into the profile of a pitcher that Lane Thomas wants to see. But that high of an expected slugging for a guy who's not really known for power. I know he's tapped into it a little bit this year, but really, really good numbers compared to a lot of the matchups that Lane Thomas has seen. So I'll be tapping into that for sure. And yeah, I was looking at this, though. The Nico Horner, Lane Thomas combo square. I like that a lot. So I haven't taken, I don't think, any of those little combo hits, runs, and RBI since they've been up.
They scare the heck out of me.
Yeah, but that one's interesting. That one's certainly interesting. And I saw the bump down, and to be honest, I really don't care. I'd still take it. I
care a little bit, Phils. That scares me a little bit.
I don't care one bit. But yeah, I'm still sticking with it. And we can go to the bottom here, which
please.
Interesting, like Tigers, Royals. It's not only a toilet bowl because of these two teams being terrible, but these are also the two worst offenses against righties. And you got Jordan Lyles and Matt Manning, who are not the typical righties, but righties nonetheless on the mounts. We'll see how their offenses fare. Shannon going up against the Rangers today, coming off his injury, is a start that I'm going to be monitoring pretty closely. I was looking at his like strikeout line, which it's moving down juice-wise in the books, which I guess it should, but the fact that it opened up 5.5 even both ways, and he hasn't struck out 6 in a month, and he faces the Rangers, who, like I said, 6th lowest strikeout rate against left-handed pitchers. A little interesting. A lot of his lines are pretty interesting today. Honestly, a little higher than I would have thought, so I'm going to be monitoring those, and we'll talk about that game. And then Logan Webb, who probably out of all the pitchers on the mound today, I see has the strangest lines, which he is bad on the road, so it's not Logan Webb that we expect, but he's coming off of a complete game shutout. Yes, at home. Yes, against the Rockies. Now he's going into Great American Ballpark. A lot of steam on his props going the other way. So thinking maybe we see the Logan Webb on the road that on paper looks like a significantly worse pitcher. So it's going to be an interesting slate today. A lot of question marks with a lot of the guys on the mound, a lot of debuts, a lot of returns, whatever it may be, but it's an interesting slate. Say that.
Yeah, I don't like the slate today, which might end up being a good thing because when I love the slate, the shit never hits. But definitely love a lot of those angles you talked about. And I'm more than down to fade Logan Webb in that spot. And we'll talk about that too. Okay. Javon cheat sheets. Need these every day. They're absolute fire. Okay. Let's say you're a step behind in the lab in the morning, you wake up, you go right to Javon's Twitter, you check out the cheat sheet, and you're caught up. Okay, literally, it's like you don't do your homework the night before, and you walk in, you copy your person sitting next to you. That's Javon's cheat sheet. Okay, you're going to need to take a look at that every morning, get your day started right. Okay, W's, and we're fading the heck out of some of those pitchers on that board.
Yeah, you might
100%. Okay. Dubs, we're going to do some MLB head-to-head lineups here, chats. We didn't do one last week, too much traveling, okay? But we're back this week. I believe Javon is still up a couple on me. By a couple, I mean probably like 3 or 4. So he still has a pretty good leads. But I do like my lineup today. I do. Javon, give the people your lineup. Let them know who's your pitcher, infielder, outfielder. Who are you targeting on Prize Picks this week, most importantly?
Yes, I think this is one of the first times that I've had a pitcher go on the first day of the week. I usually try and give it some time so we have a a couple days before we get into that because the pitcher really is the deciding factor of the matchup. But I went with Logan Gilbert today, who I really like. He's my guy, and I've kind of been targeting him for strikeouts a lot this season. His numbers have ticked up, kind of dipped down as of lately. He had a big rush at the beginning of the season, but I really like his matchup against the Twins today, which no secret, they're strikeout targets for pretty much whatever pitcher's on the mound for any given matchup. But Logan Gilbert at home today, where the Twins have really struggled on the road. They have the second highest strikeout rate against righties on the road. Really, they just have it in general, but been pretty terrible on the road with strikeouts, and especially bad against pitchers with splitters, which Alex Cobb dealt against them at 8 strikeouts. Kevin Gausman saw him twice. First time he struck out, I think, 6. And then the second time he walked 4, so he had a really bad outing. Still struck out 4 in a limited outing, but they haven't seen Logan Gilbert. So I think he pitches really, really well today. Low total in that game is expected with a lot of Mariners games. I hate backing them in general, but I'm going to back Logan Gilbert today. And yeah, really hoping this is the season-long bang tonight. We get 10 strikeouts. That would be fantastic.
That is your guy. That is your guy. You've been backing him since last year.
Yeah, sometimes. I faded him a good bit last year, but I bought in. He's kind of changed himself a little bit.
Okay.
But for position players, I went with Bobby Witt, which we'll talk about when we get to that game. Sneakily heating up. He's going to see a lot of plus matchups today, starting with, a lot of this Tigers series. So, despite how the game goes and despite how the Royals offense performs, Bobby Witt has been a spark plug for them offensively, and I'm going to continue to ride his props until he slows down because the sophomore slump could possibly be over from the beginning of the season. So with Bobby Witt, outfielder, I went Kyle Tucker, who has been heating up too. He's also playing at Coors. I was really between Kyle Tucker and Mookie for the 2 outfielders, but I didn't want to be as Corp. But another situation where he's going to be playing in Coors. He's going to see a lot of young pitchers, a lot of bad pitchers who I love their matchups. I love his matchup against them. So just kind of I'm buying into the Astros offense for this little week here when they get a lot of plus matchups, and I think Kyle Tucker is going to be the guy.
Dubs. Okay, and yes, one of the few PLL bets that hit this weekend. Tough weekend on the PLL. Your Archers, Javon, they're the best team by far in the PLL, though, man. They're stacked. They're stacked. They're just consistent. They got their head in the right place. They're the best passers I've ever seen. No injuries. They're looking good. First place? Hey, respect.
Don't sleep.
We got, Cannons are actually nice too. If you would have told me that the Atlas and the Whipsnakes were 1-4 and the Cannons were 3-2 in third place, I would ask what you're smoking. Straight up. But that's the PLL. Every year it's different. That's kind of why it's fun. You should never be backing favorites, really ever, whether it's futures or whether it's in games in general. Okay? It's an underdog sport. That's honestly probably why I love it so much. Straight up.
Yeah.
Every year it's different. The randomest fucking teams end up being good. It's awesome. It's great. It's good for the sport. Awesome. What else we got, Javon? We got DeGen asking questions. Logan Gilbert opening up -120. Is that low with how bad Gray was in his last outing? No. I wouldn't say it's high. I wouldn't say it's high. I'd say it's close. I'd say that line right now looks about right. So maybe it was a spec short, but I mean, Sonny Gray has been unbelievable this entire season. Give or take a start or 2. He's one of the best arms in baseball. So I don't think it's that weird. These teams are pretty even. The Twins have honestly been playing probably better than Seattle has recently. They've won their last 3 in a row. So I wouldn't say it's weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Just because, I mean, I'm probably a little biased in that fact, but a lot of people are buying the Mariners like we talked about, and I really couldn't tell you why, because I think that team's dog shit and that's not really going to change. So I don't think they're good in the slightest. And I mean, that series against the Tigers this weekend, good God, I know they won game 3 was 2-0, but other than that, I mean, they looked pitiful. So that's why I don't think it's too short of a line, because I just think they're terrible and there's not really much going for them at this point.
Yep. I don't disagree. How about Quinn Priester tonight? Yeah, we're going to talk about him making his debut for the Pirates. Don't you worry. We're about to get in the lab very soon. I got to go over my head-to-head team here first, boys. I'm going to get started with, by the way, this might be the weirdest lineup ever. I have 1 GOAT and 2 guys who are going to be like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yep.
Let's get it started with Uncle Charlie. Okay, I'm not talking about Wainwright. I'm talking about the one in Atlanta. Charlie Morton, Javon. Talk about a guy. You talked about Gilbert and how you like him now because he's made some changes. I don't know what Morton's done, Javon, but he is back. And he is 39 years old. And it is very impressive tonight to see old man Uncle Charlie up there on the bump throwing absolute gems. The guy's given up 1 run in his last 3 starts combined, coming off a 7-inning, 3-hit shutout against the White Sox. Sure, it's the White Sox, I bet. But Javon, he plays the frickin' D-backs this week. To me, right now, the D-backs don't have a lot of life. I don't know what it is about the Snakes. I'm not feeling great about the Snakes or their offense. I'm not worried about them. They really did not impress me much for the majority of the past month or so. I want to kind of fade that team in that offense right now. It does not look too sharp, and I want to keep backing Morton until we see him regress. Right now, he's locked in and throwing absolute gems. Give me Morton as my pitcher this week. I believe he pitches on Wednesday. Looks like he's slated to go Wednesday. Yep. Against Ryan Nelson. So that should be a win at home. Okay. I'm going to go Acuna as my outfielder. That's my GOAT. No need to really explain that one. He should probably be taken by one of us damn near every week. And then I'm going to go with a new guy. Okay. I'm going to go with the guy who has been doubted, made fun of, not believed in for probably the greater half of about a year since he got traded. But since they put him in the leadoff spot recently, Javon, he's been playing out of his mind. Looks like he's got his swagger back a little bit. Looks like he's got his trust from his manager now that he believes that he can hit a little bit. He's not hitting 7th or 8th or 9th. I'm going with CJ Abrams, who people might not believe this or know this, but CJ Abrams is the second hottest hitter in baseball over the last week. CJ Abrams is hitting 462 since he's been moved to the leadoff spot. He had 7 runs this past week in 13 at-bats, Javon. What? A lot of walks, a lot of great at-bats. The kid is here, okay? He is here. He finally sees his coach trusts him, thinks he can hit a little bit, put him in the leadoff spot. I think that was what the guy needed to get going because I think he just thought he was a bum out there making errors, batting 9th, not the guy, traded for Soto. They didn't want me. Well, now he's fucking dialed, Javon. And now we're finally seeing the real CJ Abrams. It was one of the top prospects in baseball for years. He's not making errors. He's getting on base. He's taking pitches. He's walking. He's scoring. He's hitting home runs. He's doing it all. Right now in the leadoff spot with Lane hitting behind him, Candelario, Meneses. There's enough guys at the top of that lineup. I'm comfortable backing this guy to do some things this week on Prize Picks. That's why I'm taking Abrams. All right, as my infield. Abrams, Acuna, Morton. Javon's going Witt, Tucker, and Gilbert. This should be a battle for the ages. I like our teams. We got some weirdos in there.
Yeah.
We got some weirdos in there.
I like the Abrams pick, though. I know we talked about it a little bit, but I thought that was a really weird move from Davey, which, I mean, it still is. It was like a Kevin Cash type move. Kevin Cash type move, and it actually has worked. I mean, he's looked incredible.
He's not even playing right now, is he? He's sitting against a lefty?
There's no way they have lineups out already.
Cool Canes, dude, you can have Candelario, my man, because what's going to happen is what happens every year, and it's the Yankees bring in these mediocre guys who are having good first halves. They go to the Yankees. They fold under the pressure. You guys don't do squat. We do the same thing over again every year. Next thing you know, it's been 14 years since you haven't won a World Series. Okay, it's a tale as old as time. I'd be happy for Candelario to get involved in that. Shit, we'll trade you guys Lane Thomas, Candelario, Meneses. You know why? Because we're going to get these prospects and we're going to build up our team and we're going to go to another World Series on our own and not have to go out and buy the best guys like Shohei, like the Yankees are about to do soon. Okay? That's how we roll over here. Fat Girls Inc., no jokes. No fun today. Only winners. Only winners. Okay?
Unreal.
Javon, let's hop in to the MLB slate. I know you want to go over series prices. Okay? First, guys, make sure you're using Pickett. Okay? If you're not using Pickett to track your bets, if you're not using Pickett to check splits, to check and see what the boys are all on, get your fucking roommates on it. I know you guys all got betting group chats. Send them your Pickett link, and you get a couple bucks out of it when your buddy signs up. It's not a sports book, okay? You literally just track your bets, but they give you free coin when you give referrals, okay? So if you want to make some bucks, honestly, don't even use my code if you don't want. Send your buddies your own code, okay? I just want you guys using Pickett so you can start tracking your bets and being a better sports bettor. Plain and simple, all right? There's a reason we're pushing it. It's not just because they're partners with us. We fucking use this app. I use this app all day, every day. And I think it's one of the best sports betting apps out there. And it's by far the best bet tracking app on the App Store and Google Play. What are you waiting for? Go download it right now. It's free. Use your referral. Send it to your buddies in their betting group chat. Get the boys right. All right? This is not college anymore, ladies and gents. Track your bets. Be a grown-up, okay? And why not use the best app that's free out there to do it, that syncs up with all your books and does it for you, okay? Download Pickett. Use promo code Javon. Send your buddies your referral code. Get some coins, all right, and track your bets. Grow up, okay?
Gotcha.
Javon, take us through these series prices. What do you got? Take us through.
I didn't look too deep into them, but I'll tell you the one that stands out far above the rest is sitting right there. The Dodgers minus 120 against the Orioles, who are finally starting to sniff first place. They've won 8 in a row, and the Dodgers are, heating up too, but I don't think really everybody's in that space of quite buying them just yet. And yeah, of course, grow up, use it. But the Dodgers, in this series, they're going to be facing, obviously tonight you got Gray Rod's return against Emmett Sheehan, which is kind of the wild card of the whole series. But next up, you got very interesting matchups for them come Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday, you got Michael Grove against Tyler Wells, when Tyler Wells has been absolutely fantastic for them, 7-4 with a 3.18 ERA. Michael Grove's been a glorified bulk guy who's been there's not really any signs of hope for Michael Grove, which I thought he would start to turn a corner eventually throughout later in the season, but haven't really seen many flashes yet. So that's interesting to me there, which, that line that already came out for tomorrow's game seems sneakily a little short too. So that's another conversation, I guess. But then you have Dean Kramer against Julio Urias, and Urias, I believe he's coming off of that good start. Against the
Pirates, we all faded him, I think.
No, not that one. Against the Mets, he threw 6 shutout. But
Holy
overall,
smokes.
again, kind of not a guy who many people are buying. And Dean Kramer has been a guy who we've targeted time and time again for some form of regression, except for Friday, where he also threw a really good game against the Marlins, who were coming in, fat and happy on their little streak before the break.
W Squad ride.
W Squad ride. But I do think this is the series where the Dodgers come to say, we're still the Dodgers. We're here. And the Orioles are going to start to trip. They have a really tough road ahead of them. Series against the Dodgers. Then they come to the Trop this weekend, which I'm probably going to go to a couple of those games. Go see the Phillies. Yankees are not really scary, but it's still an interdivision matchup. But they have a tough road ahead. And I think this is the Dodgers' reminder that they're still here, and the Orioles are going to start to trip a little bit as they start to sniff first place. So seeing the Dodgers minus 120 with some very obvious pitching disadvantages in this series, even though they are the Dodgers, is probably a little surprising.
Yeah. It's weird to finally be seeing some Orioles respect. And correct me if I'm wrong. If you disagree, please let me know. But the Orioles get no time of day. They get no respect. They keep winning. They're 1 game behind your Rays now. They're unbelievable. Nobody cares. Nobody talks about them. They got boring guys, but they fucking win. And it's unbelievable. Yeah. Now the Orioles are getting respect against the Dodgers? I don't get it. With Gray Rod making his return from getting called up after pitching like dog shit when he was their best prospect and he was hurt and then got sent back down sneakily and then they were rigging it back up now for his second try. Javon, man, I don't know. I'm not taking the Orioles. I'll tell you that. But this game sketches me out. I don't know what looks sharp, what doesn't. I need to check the splits. But it's weird to me that the Orioles and Gray Rod are finally now getting respect. Maybe it's because they're on an 8-game win streak. Okay, sure. Yeah. Yes, they're on fire, 100%. But it's not like this team was doing really squat for the last month. They won 4 games going into the All-Star break. But before that, they couldn't hit a baseball for 3 weeks. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. That's where my head's at. Gray Rod being minus 120 against the Dodgers in his comeback. I know the Orioles are hot, but come on.
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely still like the Dodgers here, and I like Sheehan. Maybe I dislike Gray Rod in the spot a little more than anything. But
yeah,
talking about the series prices too. This is the best evaluation of these series prices when we have 2 teams that are playing well, and one is probably playing a little bit better than the other.
Which is literally the scenario Orioles got.
It's literally the scenario. Some of the times trying to snipe a team that's really struggling. The Reds this weekend was kind of the same thing. They ran into a struggling team, got a little respect, or they are a struggling team that ran into a team that owns them and got a little respect in the series price. And obviously didn't come through. They're pitiful in that series, but the one that did come through was the Orioles, who got a lot of respect, hanging -140 against the Marlins. They dominated that series. So now you come back, and sneakily too, the Mets were favored against the Dodgers in that series. So they're not getting much respect there. And now we see it kind of flip the other way, which I think is particularly interesting. So I'm going to key in on that.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes me like a little bit better. Any other series prices you liked, or do you want to start diving in these games individually?
Yeah, I mean, there's not many that I really love outside of that one. I will say that Rangers -135 scares me just a tad.
It is your boys on the road. But that's some respects, especially with Dane Dunning getting the start today and after his start against the Nats. Jesus.
Yeah, a little scary there. Then I mean that Cardinals price looks a little interesting too against the Marlins, which I don't know if it's just a sign from the book, so they're kind of on the same page with me that the Marlins are a little fraudulent and going to start to get exposed, even when they're not playing, elite teams like the Orioles. But this is a heavier price than the Orioles had in that series, which is pretty interesting, especially when you start off game one with Jesus Luzardo, who already dealt against the Marlins or against the Cardinals, 2 weeks back in that game that was like 15-2.
Does this mean is he high? Is he going to pitch well today, or is he about to get shelled?
I mean, it's strange. He looks a little low, I guess you could say that. There's not many times. I know it's the Cardinals who hit well against lefties. Still, that trend still holds true. There's not many times that I've looked and I've seen Jesus Luzardo strikeout lines go the opposite way. Wow. To the under. But I've seen that today, which is strange, especially, like I said, I mean, he wasn't like immaculate in that start against them 2 weeks ago, but he was comfortable because they won by 13 runs in that game.
Sheesh.
Yeah. But it's moving their way. It's probably keeping me up a little bit. But this series price line, and somebody asked if we place bets on these series prices or just use it for reference. I place bets on them sometimes when I feel like awfully confident about it, and I'll make that very known. But some of the times I just use it for reference of how to bet the series and looking at these games individually.
Okay. Fat Girl Zinc is in the freaking lab, ladies and gents. Take notes. Be better. Be more like Fat Girl Zinc. Okay. Took over 4.5 hits and got bumped to 5. Okay, that's Fat Girl's angle. He thinks he's going to get hit up a little bit today. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if his strikeouts is a little bit low and his pitching outs line is a little bit low, I wouldn't mind taking that hits allowed that got bumped up. If he's not going to be striking people out and he's not going to be lasting that long, he's got to be giving up some hits. 2 + 2 equals 4, right?
Yeah.
Hit just got bumped up 10 minutes ago. W Insight, Fat Girl Zinc, good find. Good find, brother. I'll be taking that today. So are you playing Dodgers series price, Javon?
No, not playing the Dodgers series price because I'm going to be betting them game to game. Definitely.
Words. Yeah, you just use those as like a reference pretty much for the most part, right?
There's only unless I'm the only time, which I guess we haven't done that many of these since we started talking about them, but when I will certainly go in on taking series prices is when I will take a big dog, which back when the Reds first started their streak, I was taking them pretty much every series because they were hanging +150 and the books never really adjusted. So situations like that, which we, like I said, haven't run into too many of those in the last couple of weeks, but that's when I'll be very quick to pull the trigger.
Dubs. And you'll let us know when you're taking one of these instead of just using it for reference, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll make it known. And somebody said, what is series price for Reds Giants? Saw the Giants +130, which it's a 4-game series. So you're not going to see any significant favorite there, but maybe a little bit of respect for the Giants, but I wouldn't respect or expect much else until the Reds figure out how to hit again.
Yep. 0 chance. We move. Let's hop over to the Orioles game, Orioles-Dodgers today. Javon, don't let the Orioles get hot. It might be too late. I know we already talked about this briefly, but I wanted to put up this graphic, this tweet that we got. They're coming, man. They are on the Rays' heels. They're on the Rays' heels. And look, the Rays have been kind of just, not going through the motions, but I wouldn't say they're doing anything crazy recently. I mean, look, they were 101 at the beginning of the season. So obviously they were going to regress a little bit, but they're not really doing anything special, not looking too great or too scary. Orioles can't stop winning. Feels like that's kind of the narrative of their season somehow. Javon, they're right up on your heels, bro. 1 game back, I believe. Sheesh.
Yeah. I mean, they've been playing good baseball. Like you said earlier, I mean, they were going through a little stretch where they couldn't hit anything in that little stretch where I guess like the Red series was a part of that when the Reds took 2 of 3 for them on the road in that weird series. They were really struggling at the plate, and now they can't seem to miss much. So I'm definitely a little worried about the Orioles, but I do want to see them make it through this little stretch here, scheduling wise, that I was talking about with the series against the Dodgers coming to the Trop, playing the Phillies, who are also playing great baseball right now. So I don't want to say that I'm disregarding them in the division race, but I want to wait to hold out judgment until I see them get through that stretch. But yeah, today's weird because you got Emmett Sheehan on the mound for the Dodgers. He's been up for a handful of starts here, and then Grey Rod coming back, who it's good matchups for both of these offenses. I think we have 2 teams that crush fastballs. Emmett Sheehan throws a lot of them, which I don't know why, because his off-speed stuff was incredible in the minors, and can only assume that part of the game plan today is going to be throwing that off speed a little more to be more effective against this Orioles lineup. But he does throw a lot of them, does get crushed. Grey Rod, his command has been inconsistent with pretty much every pitch throughout his little major stint. But even in the minors, in his little comeback, like on paper, it looked like he had fantastic stats. But really, I mean, from the people who watch those starts are saying that it's a lot of fastballs over the heart of the plate, which it's not really any improvement from his command when he was in the majors. So I expect a lot of the Dodgers to tee off. I mean, if I'm taking a stab at a couple of Dodgers goats, I wouldn't mind doing that because they're all great against the fastball, especially from the right side. So I think he gets shelled a little bit. I don't think it's going to be all that much of an immediate improvement. It's kind of like a couple of the guys that have come up. I think Graham Ashcraft was a prime example of this. I talked about him, like I think he's going to be back, and he's had really good starts since then. But his first start back up was against the Braves in Great American Ballpark. Like, I think Grey Rod is definitely in a space to kind of improve and be back to himself throughout the rest of the season. But I think the Dodgers is just a really tough matchup to do it immediately. So I like their bats against them. I like the Dodgers.
Yep. I think I like the over in this game. Got to my head, but it's definitely public. It makes some sense. So I won't be betting it. I'll be rooting for you. Okay.
Yep. Fair enough.
Let's move to Cleveland and Pitt. Somebody was talking about Priester earlier. It's about that time. And Josh, if you can screen share some of these tweets we got under the MLB slate. We got Priester. We got Endy making their MLB debuts today for the Pirates, Javon. Big news out of Pittsburgh has been calling up. I mean, look, your Rays have been stealing the show, as they should, because they actually win games, at least a good amount of the time. The Pirates have been calling up a lot of guys, too. They've called up like 6 of their top prospects this year. Here's 2 more of them. What are your thoughts on these 2 dudes?
Yeah, I mean, Endy Rodriguez is going to be awesome. He's like, because you look at the catching situation for the Pirates, and it's pretty boring, especially when you have like Austin Hedges, who's like a defense-only guy. He's like same way I felt about Mike Zunino when he was playing with the Rays, especially, or I guess with less pop, less home run potential, but he's not back there to swing the bat. And if Endy Rodriguez, who is pretty solid defensively, is also going to give them production from the offensive standpoint, like he's going to be super exciting. So, hitting from both sides of the plate, he's going to be electric there, especially now Henry Davis, who's their other catcher in the system, is now primarily playing outfield. So you get to have both of those guys in the lineup, hopefully. So I'm really excited about him. Quinn Priester, really excited about too, but he's an interesting guy, kind of like, I don't know, Emmett Sheehan, kind of, not metrics-wise or anything, but his off-speed is fantastic. His curveball is electric. He's added a little slider cutter into there as well, which has been great, but his fastball has a little trouble getting barreled up. So, yes, the Guardians today aren't necessarily a team that's going to hurt you with like the home run ball or a lot of 110-plus exit velos, but they are a team that if you put fastballs in the zone, they're going to dink and dunk their way to a lot of offense. So that's why I'm a little hesitant on buying Quinn today. But I think, long term, I'll buy in a little bit, but I really don't know what to do too much with this game.
I would take the under probably if I had a gun to my head with these 2 random McGee's and that total moving down. I won't be betting this game. I'll be watching Priester for sure making his debut. I want to check that out 100%. Yeah. I want to see if this Endy kid's legit or what he looks like or whatever. I'm I'm not betting this game though. These two teams stink. The Guardians have shown minimal life recently. The Pirates are dead. They suck. Hence why they're probably calling up these guys as a last resort. Respect for them only being 11 games under 500 at this point. We probably all expected it to be worse, but they stink. Okay, I don't want to bet on them. They don't respect coins. Somebody in chat said they should be the squad ride. I don't think so, and I'm also not in a rush to bet the Pirates with two of their cool prospects making their debuts. If anything, I want to fade that. Okay.
Yeah.
I won't be betting the Pirates today.
They also have, I forget the guy's name, but another guy who's coming up who's not making his debut because he debuted last year, but he's coming up, I think, for the first or second game like this season. So it's a lot of new faces in that lineup. Or I mean, you're going to have 3 in the starting 10 today for the Pirates. So it's tough to back them in this spot, but yeah, I definitely lean Guardians, and Naylor up for total bases in a run usually means pretty good things for the Guardians offense.
He's licking Platt.
He's licking Platt clean. So not huge on Priester today.
Okay. All right. I changed my gun to my head. Have to place a bet in this game to the Guardians MO and fading these kids making their debuts. No longer want the under.
Fair enough.
After hearing that. Okay. Let's move and let's groove. We've got Giants and Reds, Javon. Looks like the Pirates aren't the only ones calling up somebody today. The Reds are calling up Encarnacion Strand. I think this was announced a couple days ago, but is this his first game he's playing in?
Yeah, no, it got announced last night.
Okay.
They're kind of looking forward to it for a bit, though. I mean, it probably should have happened a lot sooner than it did, but the offense needs a spark. And hopefully this is the guy that can do it, because he is awesome, too.
100%. We got a rare DC Bets W as well. Look at this tweet. Saltalamacchia walked so Encarnacion Strand could run. As an old Red Sox fan back in the day, I like this tweet. Saltalamacchia was a vibe. He really was back in the day. He was decent. He was an all-star one year. People forget. Just atrocious all the other years, to be honest with you. But he had one good year. And I don't think he's actually going to put Encarnacion Strand on his jersey, Javon. You're hearing that he's just going to be putting Encarnacion on there, but thought this was funny. Who was the guy on the Nats at the beginning of the year? Might have been last year. Was it D. Gordon who changed his name to D. Strange Gordon? Yeah. You remember that? And he had that on the jersey? Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. I saw another tweet. DHgate is having a fit right now, trying to figure out how to make these. But yeah, he's just going to rock Encarnacion, but I definitely thought this was a funny tweet. W's DC Bets. This kid's legit, and we got some clips of Encarnacion Strand, I believe, from our guy Han, who tweeted about him. Give us the rundown, 10 seconds about this kid, Javon. What's good?
He is going to bring a power supply to this lineup, which is 100% what they need right now. I'm not going to say he's a similar player to Ellie, but when you look at like chase rates and everything, that's probably the one thing that's a little concerning with him. It's very similar. Their profile very similar. But he's going to provide pop in a situation where they need it. And they just got washed by the Brewers in the series where they couldn't hit. Obviously, that was a massive series. Last 2 series, really, they got embarrassed. Massive series for the division race. They're now trailing that. The last series earlier in the season where they lost 3 out of 4 to the Brewers, what did they do? They called up Ellie De La Cruz for the Dodgers series, and that kind of sparked their whole little immaculate run to this point. So hoping this energizes the dugout a little bit, because they need it.
Power bat in that ballpark. That should be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this kid, and this could be another shot in the arm the Reds need it after a little bit of a lull the past week or so. Little 2-weekish lull with that all-star break, not playing their best ball of the year. This is exactly what they need. And they're going to need all the runs they can get with Zion Williamson on the bump today.
Yeah, maybe. He's been really good, actually. He's been he's had a similar little arc to Graham Ashcraft, except, he's not coming back from injury necessarily, but he started to look really good in his last couple of starts. So I'm starting to buy in a little bit. But today, I mean, looking at Logan Webb, you can click on that game, Josh, and go to the pitcher props. Some really weird lines with Logan Webb. Which, first of all, I mean, they opened a lot shorter here. You can go down to hits, I guess. I mean, he's one of the only guys, if not the only guy, who went up from a 5.5 to a 6.5 hit line overnight. And I know Logan Webb is not like a guy who's going to go out there and shut you down with 3 hits. He gives up a share of base hits and share of contact, of course, but even in Great American Ballpark, that feels awfully significant for a guy coming off a complete game shutout in this last start against the Rockies. Then even going down further, when we're talking about just earned runs, that over 2.5 for Logan Webb opened at -120, and it's going to -145. And look at where Brandon Williamson is sitting, which actually opened a lot shorter or a lot further juice to the under than it sits now. So it's moving towards the over, but that's a lot of respect for Brandon Williamson in that park, despite how good he's been recently, that he's -125 to under 2.5 runs or 2.5 earned runs, which I felt that was, these lines are really, really weird, especially
this
they opened
weird
at
as shit.
Yeah, they opened at a more ridiculous spot than they're sitting right now, minus like the Logan Webb earned runs moving up, but still really hard to ignore. And like, obviously I'm big invested in the Reds, so I'm trying to find spots to back them. I'm really not right now because I want them to get it together before I go back and place coin on them. But with these lines today, I mean, it's hard for me to ignore it. Like, especially with the fact, like I'm harping on, like Logan Webb is coming off a complete game shutout, and fading a lot of these pitchers off that spot has been very profitable. I mean, for those who are in the spaces this weekend, what did we do? We faded Pablo Lopez coming off of a complete game shutout, and the A's destroyed him. So now you're in obviously like the best hitting environment of the day usually is in Great American Ballpark against a team who's been really struggling offensively. Now they hopefully have the shot in the arm with Encarnacion Strand coming in. It's just, I can't ignore these lines. Can't do it.
Bro, I didn't know we had background music playing this entire time. I just heard it in my ear for the first time. It was on like the smallest volume. The fucking lo-fi music. I'll turn it up for a second. This is playing in the background the entire time. I thought I was hearing some shit.
Bumping.
Okay, we're back. We're locked. Javon, those props are weird as heck. Not only the earned runs, but the hits allowed. I know the odds are flipped, but you're telling me Zion's at 4.5 hits allowed and Logan Webb's at 6 with the complete game? That's crazy. The hell?
Yeah.
Lines come down 50 cents towards the Reds. Looks like the Reds have fire splits on the ML, 38% of bets, 61% of handle. Sure. Would not mind taking the stab on the Reds one bit. I'll be doing that today. Give me the Reds on the ML. If you're not ready to bet them, Javon, I'll bet them for you. I know you'll be rooting for them now.
Yeah, I got to. I don't know if I'm ready to go there yet, but it's really hard for me to stay away. I'll tell you that.
Yep. Totally get it. We got sub bangs. YGF Taylor coming in. Bang. Let's go. We got window liquor 1, 2, 3, I bet. Sub bang 13 months. Let's go. Happy Baker's dozen. Dubs. Yexi. I think I already shouted you out, but there's another one. Dubs. Let me check where we're at in the survivor pool. Let me see how many we got. Josh, can we throw up that full screen guy real quick? Let me see where we're at. How many signups did we get today? We gotten 50 yet, chat? Let's see. No. We got about 20. Chat, there's almost 400 people in here right now. I know you guys have not all signed up for this. Okay, there's no way. Why would you not take 2 minutes and just do it right now while you're watching the rest of BTL? Okay, it's free. You can win Super Bowl tickets. We're all going to be in this, talking about it, sweating out the entire freaking NFL season, all right? Before it fills up, before you miss out, being able to be in this with me, Trent, Javon, Lauren, Chelly, Mikey, the whole squad, Preston, everybody. Go ahead and join now. Take 1 minute of your day. It's free. The link will be in chat, okay? The link is in chat. Join now before it fills up. Don't put it off. Don't procrastinate. Not with this. Your fantasy football team's going to suck by week 3. This might be the only fun thing you have to ride out for the whole NFL season. Join now. It's free. They send the confirmation when it's closed, I believe. W's. Well, right now we got 23. We need to double that. And we got 30 minutes. So you guys better hurry up. If you want a BTL shirt, you guys want one? I got a couple of them. All sizes, all shapes. Join the league. Okay? And you might win Super Bowl tickets. Can't do worse than Trent. Okay? We move. Miami, St. Louis, Javon. Reds ML, we move. That's the play in that game. Let's advance. Miami, St. Louis. Do not let the Marlins get hot. I know this doesn't have to do with this game today, Javon, but wanted to show this. The most and least profitable teams in baseball up to this point on the ML. Not surprising to see the O's and the Reds up there at the top, most profitable. Okay. The Marlins are up there, as they should be. They've overperformed. They've exceeded all expectations from the public and the books. And it looks like they're making the people some coins. Wanted to shout that out. And also wanted to roast the Mets and the Cardinals and the Padres. Okay. The A's and the Royals should be up there first and second for the worst teams. Not the Mets, Cardinals, and Padres, who have a combined salary cap of what, Javon? 600 million?
Yeah, at least like $5. Yeah.
Unbelievable. What a joke. What a disgrace. I don't know how anybody who works for those two organizations, the Mets or Cardinals, looks themselves in a mirror or sleeps at night. I wouldn't be able to sleep. That's a joke.
Sad.
Unbelievable. All right, we move. Let's talk about the Marlins today, Javon. We already have a lot, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. I like the Cardinals. I'm not going to be betting it. It seems like a play I would take last year when I lost a ton of coin on MLB. Not this year. Not today. I do lean that way, though, and I'm sure as hell not taking Miami. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm in the same headspace there. I know the line is starting to move towards the fish. I think that opener is probably a little weird too, especially considering how not only Jesus Luzardo's last start against the Marlins went, but how that series in general went. I was a little surprised to see that price. I know the Cardinals get a lot of respect just generally for God knows what reason at this point. But it's another one that's hard to ignore. I don't know if I want to do it though, unless we should get some buyback towards the Cardinals. But Luzardo has been incredible, and I've been a huge backer of him pretty much anytime he comes to the mound. But today I have my doubts outside of just his lines. You know, the Cardinals do hit lefties well, and they're in their little best split against lefties, if you want to call it that, against lefties who allow a lot of barrels. And Jesus Luzardo, first time around, was one of the main exceptions to the rule. So I think their offense has a little better day today. Another guy that like sneakily, Bobby Witt has been having a little bit of a resurgence here, but so is Wilson Contreras. He's been really good over the past handful of weeks here too. So if a guy like him gets going, that's going to be great for a lot of that lineup. And yeah, it's back, Carly. It's so back. So back.
Can we see the other one, the sneak one?
The sneak one? Can we even do that?
People forget there's two.
People do forget there's two.
Oh, we can do it. Yeah. That's crazy.
Sneak two.
How many could you fit up there? If they were all equally spaced out so that they could function, you think you could put 10 up there?
Well, so they're like you see it, like they're heading like towards the corner from like corner to corner. So like technically you could fit like two more. Like you could have a 4-piece here.
I'm talking about 10 though. Double dig?
No 10.
No chance? Okay.
No chance. No shot.
Okay. All right. Only the OGs remember. All right. Immaculate vibes. Marlins today. I'm good. I don't want any part of it. Luzardo's sketching me out. I want to fade, if anything, but I also don't want to put my hard-earned coins on the Cardinals. So I will respectfully sit back and make fun of them while they lose, although I do think they win, if that makes any sense.
I wouldn't mind targeting this game from a prop perspective.
Okay.
Like, I mean, Fat Girls was talking about, like, all of Luzardo's lines himself are really weird. There's also some weird guys up for the Cardinals, which the main one that I like looked at the board and I was like, this can't be real. I don't know if he's going to play. I don't know what the story is, but Jose Fermin is up for the Cardinals for half a base. Exactly. He's been up for 2 games this season, which were like July 7th and 9th. Didn't have a hit. Whenever they put up these guys on Prize Picks, you just have not gotten whatever the square is for the entire length of the season, which I know he's only been up for 2 games, but guys making their debut or damn near it, and they're up for this against Luzardo, of all people. If he plays, I will 100% have that in.
I mean, we're not going to have a choice.
That's ridiculous if he plays.
Hey, did Cody Thomas come through for us yesterday?
I don't think he played, right?
Nice.
Nah, but Geloff was up there and was initially supposed to lead off, then they switched the lineup and he was batting too, but he had game of his life.
I bet he did.
I bet he did. Career hitter Jose Fermin.
What, dude? Let's see if he's playing. All right, let's see if he's playing. If he is, that'll definitely be in there 1,000%.
Yeah,
okay.
It has to be.
Javon.
Wilson up there too, though. Sneakily.
They got Contreras up there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be taking that regardless, but if Fermin plays, that's the favorite square. If it's not, or if he doesn't, Contreras is up there too, which I love.
Anybody bet on cornhole this weekend? You know Debbie was slinging those bags. I'm sure her under smacked.
Yep.
Eat a 3-piece, get 50 subs tomorrow. Whoa.
That could be huge.
Whoa. A 3-piece prize picks? Doga, let us know, bro. Let us know. That could be some motivation.
We'll be making A team, B team today for sure.
Yeah, we might not be able to do it on here, but we will 100% have those out this afternoon.
Yeah. Only reason why, I mean, I would say let's craft it now, but that square right there, if he's in the lineup, is going to be in there.
Yeah.
So want to wait for
I'm
that.
with you. 3-piece PP. Doga, we got you today, bro. Whatever the A team ends up being this afternoon, please take that. We're going to put our 3 favorite squares in that. As always, not rocket science. The A team, obviously, our best place. That's going to be your 3-piece PP. And we're going to run that today. And make sure you guys stick around for Surge Stream as well. If you want to come up, give a play. In about 20 minutes, Trent will take over, go over the slates, his model, have some guests up. All right, the whole 9 yards. Okay, there he is.
Just spawns.
See ya.
Spawns.
Wow, that was inspirational, Trent. I appreciate that. Dubs.
That was.
We move. Javon, Rays, Rangers. I like the Rangers. I like the over in this game. It's on the move from 8.5 to 9. With 2 decent pitchers on the bump. Shane McClanahan, never heard of him. Struggling recently, but a great arm. Dane Dunning, insane starts on paper. Ridiculous season he's having. Well, he just got absolutely annihilated by the Nationals last game. And I don't see how the Rays don't do the same thing today. I think both offenses feast. I think both these pitchers are compromised right now. I think they're in terrible positions, terrible spots, both mentally and maybe health. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with their guy Shane. All I know is he's only pitched 3 innings each in his last 2 starts, and he's gotten rocked, and he looks like he's worse than Mackenzie Gore. I don't understand it. Give me the over. Give me runs from both sides. I definitely lean the Rangers on the ML with that crazy plus 100 opener, but I'm not willing to back that because Dane Dunning and the Rangers are sharp every day. All right, both these teams are almost. So I'm going to target the sharp total here with the over and hope for runs from both sides. I don't know who's winning. Lean Rangers, but give me runs.
Yeah, I don't mind the runs. I've been going back and forth here because I do think it's the Rays, but I'm not willing to put my coin behind Shane McClanahan, but I am willing to put coin behind the bats against Dane Dunning, which saying that out loud that I'm not willing to put coins behind Shane McClanahan sounds crazy, but you know, he's been not the same Shane as of late. Yes, the injury probably played in some part to that. So I'm not willing to 100% trust that he's going to be healthy and full go right out of the gate here at the All-Star break. But Dane Dunning is starting to, I mean, advanced metrics wise, look like the same Dane Dunning that we were fading for a lot of last season. He's like one of the biggest regression candidates in all of the MLB at this point. So that started to come to a head. It certainly did for a little bit in the Nationals game and a couple of starts before that. So I think it does today against the Rays, who a lot of these guys I'm expecting to get pretty hot pretty soon. Luke Raley's been fantastic. Wander, I think, is going to start to have a really good couple of weeks here. Same with Randy coming out of the All-Star break too. So I think their bats get to them. I like some runs in this game, especially some Rays runs, but a lot of question marks with Shane McClanahan for sure.
Yep, I got question marks with both pitchers. I'm fading them. Hello, Stuart. What's up, Beast? W's. McClanahan over walk? Sure. Yeah, let's hope this isn't a recurring thing for the young lefty every year where he's unbelievable for the first half and then runs out of steam. Because some guys are like that. Some guys don't have that full season stamina. Let's hope this isn't a recurring thing. Let's hope it was another injury that he recovers from. Scary. Not a good sign.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's like the same exact thing as last year, pretty much.
Yeah. Last year, it was like me saying that was completely because of the All-Star game. Like, that's at least what I think or caused everything. Because he's like a big mental, emotional guy. So the fact that he finally got out there against like the league's best and started the game and he went out there and got destroyed, that was what told me that it was going to be a problem for him down the line. So like, I don't know. I'm hoping it's not the same thing. I'm very glad he didn't get to pitch in the All-Star game. I'll tell you that. Obviously didn't want to see him hurt, but I'm glad that he got a little time to rest and relax and not go up in a spot that would probably make him a little overly stressed, as we've seen before. So hopefully bounce back. That'll be nice.
Damn. Trent posted a tweet about Mookie talking about how he literally didn't even try for the home run derby. I bet anyone would say that after they had the worst home run derby performance of all time.
Yeah.
What? Mookie, you sound like a bum saying that. Why don't you just take it on the chin and just fucking say I'm terrible at hitting home runs and I'm not a home run derby guy?
To be fair, he did kind of preface that before. And I mean, him not taking his time out too is probably the little white flag there.
Okay. Fair. Yeah, we could play it.
Experience for the derby. Going in, I didn't practice for it either because I got hot right before the break. So I didn't practice at all until 10 minutes before the derby. I went in the cage and I just tried to start hitting homers. Third swing in, I knew this ain't it. I got no chance.
How was your BP guy?
He practiced for at least 2 weeks. So he was locked in. I threw him off because I didn't hit any home runs. And he's like, okay, where do I throw it? Because he's not hitting home runs. In my head, I'm like, just throw it. I'm not hitting home runs. It was a great experience, but unless my son really, 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 really wants me to later on in my career, I will never
Never again.
Never do it again. What I'm supposed to do when Julio goes to 40? When Vladdy put up 26 or 27, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's no way I can do it.
Yeah.
And so
the base was gonna be juice and everything is still
doesn't matter. They're juice for everybody. You know what I'm saying? They're not just juice for me.
Yeah.
My experience for the dirt.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude. Trent's blood pressure just absolutely through the roof listening to that. I mean, Trent, dude, fuck him. I'm just gonna say it. Fuck him.
I can't even chirp him, bro, because he's goaded for the get well.
Okay, all right, fine. So yeah,
he
what
had
could
like
he even
7 hits this weekend in New York.
Yeah, no home runs. He's line drive approach. Keep it on the ground.
But yeah,
unbelievable, dude.
New shit.
Unbelievable. Well, you know what, Trent? Chin up, man. We got plenty of games today, plenty of winners. All
Can we get back to fucking Green Gob Central, bro?
Dude, yeah, I'm leaking Prize Picks coins.
Yeah, we kind of been messing around here. We got
leaking Prize Picks
lock
coins.
In, man.
Can we have a week, Trent? Let's have a week. Let's have a week.
Need it.
Okay. Let's hit some fucking bets. Let's stay dialed. All right. Let's do some lab work. Let's find some winners. I think we've already found some today. All right.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving. We got to power through these last 5 games, Javon. Nats Cubs. Not going to talk too much about it. You guys don't like when I talk about the Nats. I'm biased. I agree. I think we get crushed today, though. I do. I think we get crushed. I think Smiley pitches good enough. We can't hit a lefty in the last month or two to save our life. Mackenzie Gore is sketchball McGee right now. Until I see another good start out of him, and I know that's how he is. He's a 4 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs guy, and then next thing you know, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 10 strikeouts. That's how he is. But I don't want to go back to him just yet. He's starting to sketch me. I know he's got a finger thing going on. Totals up from 8 to 9. Pretty friendly hitter conditions. Boosting the home runs, which is not helping the Nats at all. And if anything, it's going to help the Cubs in their power bats. So I think Gore gets crushed. I think the Nats continue to struggle, although they've been good on the road. This is a fat line, in my opinion, with 2 shit teams and 2 shit pitchers. And both offenses have good matchups on paper. But Javon, you're the one that brought up to me, man. The Nats are fake good against lefties. I think they were just really good and hot in the beginning of the year, except for a couple guys on their team that do prefer the lefties. But I'm not buying it. They've regressed. I think Smiley pitches good. Give me the Cubs ML. They win.
Yeah, I like the Cubs too. I really don't know how I want to attack this game. And Mush, I see in Chapman. You know what's up. But Lane Thomas, he's the one who is certainly not fake good against lefties. Like the Nats as a team, they're like top in the league for a good bit of the beginning of the season. Now they're damn near at the bottom. They're like a little below league average. So have certainly regressed quite a bit. So it's not the same team. A lot of that's been because they've been shaking up guys in the lineup a little bit. I mean, Jeimer's gotten hurt. They've had some other issues. Meneses has gotten hot, though, a little bit. CJ's at the top now. So it's a little different of a lineup or a different look than they've gotten against lefties all season. But I'll rock with Lane Thomas. I do like runs in this game. A couple guys are up for the Cubs that I pretty usually target when they're up against a lefty, like a Yan Gomes. If he plays, he's always him against a lefty. I love Nico Horner too, and the little combo square with Lane too, if we want to take that. But I don't know. I think the Cubs offense has a pretty solid day, but I also don't know if Drew Smiley's going to pitch all that well either. So I just kind of lean runs. Seeing him up for that 23.5 fantasy score with his mid as the Nats have been for the last handful of weeks too is pretty interesting. And like I don't know how much higher you can put Drew Smyly, but at the same time, them hanging that with the pitching outs and the earned runs may be a little weird, even though he's been a little green in the earned runs division. I don't really know, but I think the Nats get a couple off the back of Lane at least.
Real Nicky Gambles gets it, and I hope you're right, Javon. I hope Lane Ball is a little worried that he got bumped down, but it is what it is. He's a beast. And Kobe, I wish Don Smith was up there, man. He's been on fire recently. He's hitting the ball great. Smyly got bumped. Yeah, after kind of looking at the PrizePicks board while you were talking and listening to what you were saying, maybe the over is the better look here and just backing both offenses. And I'll tell you what, Stone Garrett's got another matchup against a lefty, Javon. He'll be in the meat of that order. We know what he does against lefties. When we don't take him on PrizePicks, he hits nukes. When we do take him, he strikes out 4 times. But all jokes aside, I would not mind taking him today either.
Yeah, I'll let you have Stone. I'll let you have.
Okay. Dubs. Hey, let's go, Trent. MLB free play. Sure. Let's go. All right. Couple more games, Javon. We've got Detroit, Kansas City. Happy Jordan Lyles Day to everybody who celebrates. Congrats. You made it. Jordan Lyles. We're going to show the tweet. His record is so bad that it's almost sad. Straight up. He's like 1-16 in games he's pitched in this season. Yeah, 1-16. And opponents cover the -1.5, 14 of those 16 games. I mean, look, last year's Crabs will be trying to fade this narrative and back the Royals as a short dog at home. But that line's moved 20 cents towards the Tigers. And we don't fade trends like this, Javon, anymore. If anything, we just take them, okay? Because there's a reason they're a trend. They've been happening for weeks. They're going to keep happening. He freaking sucks, okay? I don't want to fade him. I don't want to take him. The Royals are canceled for me in my eyes. I'm not fucking betting them, and I'm definitely not betting Jordan Lyles. Do you have a play in this game?
I mean, the last time I saw this exact guy tweet this, it was the Rays start that Jordan Lyles won.
It was
like,
yep.
I'm a little scarred looking at this tweet because I really don't want to take Jordan Lyles either. It might be a game where I just have to attack some specific props for the Royals because I do think they're about to have a pretty solid day against Matt Manning. I just can't trust Lyles. But if we're talking about weird PrizePick stuff, like, yeah, I'll definitely be taking Bobby Witt today. He's been absolutely on fire, like we talked about. Nobody's really talking about it because he's playing for the Royals and they're not really winning games necessarily, but he's been incredible in the month of July, and I think that's going to continue for a little bit. I think he's going to stay hot. So the Royals, as a whole, against Matt Manning. So if you want to talk about weird PrizePick stuff, Matt Manning's up for 16 pitching outs and 21.5 fantasy score.
Jesus.
21.5 against the Royals, and he's coming off of a really good 6-inning performance against the Blue Jays. So the fact that he's up for that 21.5 is super crazy to me. I don't want to back the Royals as a side, maybe some props in a team total because I do think they score regardless of what happens.
Yep. Would not mind taking the over in this game. Looks like it's getting less than 35% of bets in handle. Also wanted to bring this up. The Nats and Cubs over, I definitely liked until I saw that it was the most public over of the day today. So I wanted to get that on record. It's getting absolutely shit pumped. Yep. So that's keep me off that. But I do like this over. I could get behind this Tigers and Royals nasty over. Squaring up, fade Lyles, fade Manning after his pretty good start recently with those weird PP squares. Decent splits. Total on the move from 8.5 to 9.5.
Yeah.
I know he didn't pitch.
I didn't know he pitched, or I know he didn't pitch the whole game necessarily, but we're talking about fading guys off a complete game shutout. And Matt Manning pitched the first 6 innings of the combined no-hitter for the Tigers. That was against the Jays.
Jesus.
So, I mean, the fact you're coming off of that and you're getting a 21.5 fantasy score against the Royals, I mean, come on.
Yep. I'm with it. Yankees Angels, Javon. We heard an all-time jinx last night. We don't have time to show the clip. That's okay. But freaking Rockies broadcasters. It was the Rockies broadcasters, right? Or was it the Yankees? I believe it was the Rockies.
No,
and they were jinxing. They were jinxing the guy who hit the walk-off last night for the Rockies. Unbelievable. Yeah, Yankees broadcast. All right, let's just play the clip.
Trejo, 120 at-bats, does not have a home run this year.
Does not have a home run this year. There it goes. See ya. Immediate home run. .1 seconds after, and the game's over. Well, shout out the Yankees for the over, though, but hilarious. Javon, what were you telling me earlier this morning? You wanted to run it
I like
back?
the Yanks. Which the times where I like to bet the Yankees are in spots like this where they have pitchers pitching that nobody likes, or this is like the height of their social media criticism, which like Friday after they lost game 1, everybody was shitting on the Yanks, destroying them after how pitiful they looked. And what happened? They came back, scored very early and often in that game, game 2, and I backed them in that. Now coming off of the series loss where they had probably one of the most embarrassing collapses that they've had as a team in quite some time, I want to back them against the Angels, which usually the Sunday Night Baseball fade is awfully public. This might be the one spot where everybody's a little scared to do it, with the Yankees who have been pitiful, Severino who's been pitiful on the mound, but I want to do it because, I mean, you want to talk from an actual baseball perspective, Griffin Canning is bad. I don't think people realize how bad he is. His fastball is terrible. It gets absolutely destroyed, and he leaves it right over the middle of the plate. And the Yankees bats, they weren't fantastic, I guess, for the last week or so, even before the All-Star break. And I'm not really buying into them necessarily because of what they showed in Coors and little flashes, because it is Coors Field. But little improved, I guess, in my eyes, their approach to the plate lately. So I'm buying in a little bit. And yeah, you think Severino has to bounce back at some point. I get that. But it's more of me liking their bats against Griffin Canning more than I hate Luis Severino here. So I'll be tapping into some props. And I know it's, Stanton who's been hitting piss missiles lately, but anytime I see anybody ahead of Shohei Ohtani by a deep, I have to take a look. And that's where Stanton is today.
And those juice baseballs are probably still hanging around in Anaheim. They were there last night. They were there this whole weekend. They probably got a couple left over, right? They probably wouldn't mind seeing another Shohei nuke today, getting some runs going. Probably from both sides, though.
This is exactly why I want to do it right here. Couldn't even get the Gomber at Chase Anderson, backing bats off of travels from Coors, even though the Angels are coming off of Sunday Night Baseball, so I guess it kind of evens out. I'm good. I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll be the guy.
Low-key, Rizzo's been like one of the worst hitters in baseball over the last 2 months.
Yeah, he's been terrible.
He stinks.
Yeah.
Yep. Juice baseballs are 100% a thing. We literally just heard Mookie Betts talking about them.
Yeah.
The players talking about them.
They came out with the reports that was like confirmed last year too.
They used 3 different baseballs last year. They had a normal baseball, they had a juiced baseball, and then they had a super juiced baseball that only ended up in New York at the end of the season when Judge was in a slump. They ended up breaking his home run record. So you guys do the math. The players have talked about it. The Cubs players talked about it last year. Pat Wisdom. Mookie was just talking about it. Yeah, obviously home run derby, the balls are juiced, but the balls also get juiced for primetime games in the regular season too. 1,000,000%. The MLB owns Rawlings. They make the baseballs. They bought them recently. And, I mean, honestly, all you had to do was watch that game last night on ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball. There was 7 home runs. Shohei looked like he had a pop-up to the second baseman, and that ball went out over center field.
Dude, Chas McCormick's 2 home runs look like pop-ups to second base.
Unbelievable. Javon, Mariners ML, and then we go to the squad rides? Okay.
Yeah, I've already talked about that enough. Don't have to rehash that.
And I got nothing in Boston.
No real thoughts.
I got nothing in Boston and Oakland besides Boston's on fire right now. The Red Sox are hot. A's bats are also hot, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I wouldn't mind, depending on the pitching matchup. I assume it's going to be Pivetta in like a bulk roll of some sort. That's what it seems like, but I wouldn't mind backing the A's bats. A little team total.
Okay. I'm with you. This
Geloff
Yankees
might be good. You're right, Ryan. You're right.
You want to put the Yankees ML in there today?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's do it. The way Chad reacted, that might have to be the play. Yankees ML.
I mean, we got 5.
Seattle ML.
Yeah, we got 5
ML,
plays right here, minus the Rockets.
Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with rolling with all these. My opinions really haven't swayed or changed since we talked before and crafted up these plays. So Mariners, Dodgers, man, though. We'll leave that one out for a second.
Okay, we can.
We'll go Yankees, Mariners, Reds, ML. We'll go Tampa, Texas over 9. And we'll go We might have to go with that play.
With the
You really like
Dodgers.
the Dodgers?
I do. I sent you something too. You can look at
Oh,
Trent spawning.
okay. Good.
Trent spawning out of nowhere when he hears the Dodgers.
Sure. All right. Yeah, we could take the Dodgers. That's fine. We could take the Dodgers. That's fine. We'll go Dodgers ML. We'll go Tampa, Texas over 9. We'll go Cincy ML, Seattle ML, and Yanks ML chats. We hit a nice little squad ride on Friday. Okay. Let's hit another one today. Let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. All right. Chat, we're 104, 70, and 3. Okay. I know last week wasn't pretty. I think we ended up 2 and 3 last week, one of our worst weeks we've ever had. We're bouncing back, and we're starting off today with a winner. All right. Get your votes in. The poll is up in the Twitch chat. Hurry up. Go, 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 vote, go now. Go. Hurry up. We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, boys. And we don't have nearly enough votes. Let me see where we're at in the survivor pool. Let me see if we got to 50. No, looks like we got 32. That's not going to cut it, chat. We'll try it again tomorrow. Unless you guys get it in right now and everybody does it. I don't know how 20 people couldn't just do it right now, but why do you like the Rockets tonight, Krabs? With how well they've looked and the Cavs opening fave, they've got to be the play. Dilgott, I felt the same exact thing. I don't hate your mindset at all. When I capped the Summer League games last week when Javon was not there, I pretty much looked at the lineups and bet off of feel and what I knew from the college guys, and it worked out incredibly 6-2. I think you can kind of bet this league and the Summer League like you do with the PLL, where you use that sports brain a little bit more. Use that sports brain, use your eyes a little bit more. And I'm looking at this freaking roster. The Rockets are stacked. Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore's been balling, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, Fletcher McGee, Matthew Mayer, Jay Huff, Miles Powell. They got him back over there from China. This team is absolutely stacked, and that's why I'm grabbing it. I'm taking the ML. I'm not taking the +2.5. Give me the Rockets tonight in the Summer League NBA Finals. Your last chance to watch basketball for a little bit. Check it out. All right. I'm on it. I'm going to sprinkle no nukes on the Summer League, okay? But I do like the Rockets ML. All right. Chat, hurry up. Get your votes in. Go, 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 go. And it's the Dodgers. You've got to be kidding me. 50 votes. 50 votes for the Dodgers. All right. Javon, we're fading the O's. This feels like a spite bet. Are you doing this because the squad ride's hot and you just want the Rays to get a couple more spots up on the standings ahead of the Orioles?
I mean, if it was a spite bet, I would say take the Orioles. So then either they win or the Rays are winning for them. So, I mean, if anything, this is quite the opposite of a spite bet. I mean, the last squad ride was the Orioles.
People forget.
Yeah.
People forget. And today, we're fading the Orioles, okay?
Yeah.
No friends, chat, only winners. All right? Short memory, be like a goldfish. Orioles might have came through Friday. Don't give a fuck. We're fading them today. Fuck the Orioles. They're losing today. We're fading them, okay? Give me the Dodgers on the ML chats. Make sure you guys stick around for the Surge stream. Trent's going to fire it up. We'll try to do the giveaway tomorrow. Maybe I'll cut the number down a little bit for the shirt. But make sure you guys sign up for that Survivor pool. It's free. There's limited spots. We'll put it in chat. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll be seeing.